Chapter 32. Incarnation, Nature, and Duties of Human Beings. Incarnation on Earth. When one of your loved ones departs for the spiritual valley, you weep instead of being filled with peace, realizing that he is getting one step closer toward his Elohim. On the other hand, you celebrate when a new baby comes to your home without realizing at that moment that the spirit has come to fulfill a restitution in this valley of tears. It is then when you should weep for that spirit. You bear children of your flesh, but I am he who distributes the spirits in families, in peoples, in nations, in worlds, and in such justice impenetrable for men, my love is manifested. You live in the present and do not know what I have destined for your future. I am preparing a great legion of spiritual beings, which shall have to come to inhabit the earth on a delicate mission, and it is necessary that you know that many of you will be parents of these children in whom my envoys are made flesh. Your duty is to prepare yourselves to receive and guide them. I would like to speak to you much of spiritual teachings, but you would not yet understand them. If I revealed to you the dwelling places to which you had descended on the earth, you would not be able to conceive how you lived in such places. Today, you can deny knowing the spiritual valley because I have closed to your spirit, being incarnated, its past, so that you do not presume, succumb, nor become dejected when confronted with your new existence, which should begin like a new life. Even if you should wish to, you could not remember. I concede to you only the conservation of a thought or intuition that I reveal to you so that you preserve in the struggle and consent when faced with trials. You may doubt all that I tell you, yet that valley was truly your dwelling place when you were a spirit. You were dwellers in the mansion in which you did not know pain, in which you felt the glory of the Father in your being, for there was no stain in it. Nonetheless, you had entered no merits. It was necessary that you leave heaven and descend to the world, so that your spirit, by its own efforts, conquers the kingdom. Yet, little by little, you descended morally until you felt very far from the divine and the spiritual from your origin. When the spirit arrives on earth, it comes animated with the best intentions of consecrating its existence to the Father, of pleasing him in all things, and of being useful to his fellow men. But once imprisoned in the material, tempted and tried in 1,000 different ways during the journey, it weakens, cedes to the impulses of the flesh and its temptations, becomes selfish, finishes loving itself above all things, and only at moments listens to its conscience, where its destiny and the promises are written. My word helps you to remember your spiritual pacts and to overcome the temptations and obstacles. None can say that they have never strayed from the path I have traced for them, but I forgive you so that you can learn to forgive your brothers. A great spiritual lesson is necessary to make man walk the road according to the voice of his conscience for the material world that surrounds him. In spite of all being saturated with divine love and being wisely constructed for the good and the happiness of man, it constitutes a test for the spirit from the instant that it comes to inhabit a world it does not belong to, united to a body whose nature is different from its own. There you can find the cause for the spirit forgetting its past. From the instant it is made flesh in an unconscious, newly born creature and fuses to it, it begins a joint life together with that being. Of the spirit, there remain only two attributes present, the conscience and intuition, but the personality, the works performed, and the past are temporarily hidden. Thus has it been decided by the Father. What will become of the spirit that comes from the light of a higher dwelling to dwell among the miseries of this world if it remembered its past? And how many vanities there would be among men if the greatness that existed in their spirits in another former life were revealed to them? The real value of the body and its guiding by the spirit. I do not tell you to purify only your spirits, but also to strengthen your physical body so that the new generations which come from you might be healthy, and their spirits will be able to fulfill their delicate missions. Be careful of the health of your body, seek its protection and strengthening. My doctrine counsels you to have charity with your spirit and your body, for both are complementary and need each other for the delicate spiritual fulfillment that is entrusted to them. Do not give your body a greater importance than it really has, nor allow it to occupy the place that only corresponds to your spirit. I understand that the physical body is only the instrument that you need so that the spirit manifests himself on earth. See how this doctrine is for the spirit, for which the material shell comes every day closer to the bosom of the earth. The spirit, in contrast, comes closer to the eternity. The body is the support in which the spirit rests while it inhabits the earth. Why let it become a chain that limits or imprisons you? Why allow it to be the guiding force of your life? Is it right for the blind to guide one who has sight in his eyes? This teaching is simple, as is all that is pure, divine, and for that reason, easy to comprehend. Yet, to put it in practice at times will seem difficult to you. The works of the Spirit require efforts, renunciation, and sacrifice on the part of your body, and when you lack education or spiritual discipline, you must suffer. From the beginning of time, a struggle has existed between the spiritual and the material in trying to comprehend what is just and what is right and good in order to create a life in conformity with the law presented by Elohim. In the midst of that battle, it seems as though a strange and malevolent force is inducing you at each step to distance yourselves from the struggle, inviting you to continue on the path of materialism in use of your free will. I tell you that there is no more temptation than the weakness of your body. It is sensitive to that which surrounds it and quick to give in, easy to fall and surrender. Yet he who has managed to dominate his impulses, passions, and the weakness of the flesh has conquered the temptation that he bears within himself. The earth is a battlefield. There is much to learn. Were it otherwise, a few years of life on this planet would be enough, and you would not be sent to reincarnate again and again. There is no tomb darker and gloomier for the spirit than its own body, if in it there is scum and materialism. My word raises you from the tomb and then gives you wings so that you may take flight to the regions of peace and spiritual light. The importance of the spirit and the conscience of man. The body cannot live without a spirit, animated only by the material life, but it would not be a human. It could possess a spirit and be lacking in conscience, but it could not be guided by itself, nor would it be the superior being who by means of the conscience knows the law, distinguishes good from evil, and receives every divine revelation. Let it be the conscience that illuminates the spirit and the spirit which guides the flesh. While some in the world pursue false greatness, others say that man is an insignificant creature before Elohim, and there are those who compare themselves to a worm in the soil. Certainly, your material form in the midst of creation may seem small to you, but for me it is not, due to the wisdom and power with which you were created by me. How can you judge the dimensions of your being by the size of your body? Can you not feel the presence of your spirit? It is bigger than your body. Its existence is eternal, its road infinite. Of its development you cannot see either its end or its beginning. I do not wish you small. I informed you to achieve greatness. Do you know when I see man as small? When he is lost in sin, for it is then that he has lost his nobility and dignity. It has been a long time since you are not with me, since you ignore in reality who you are, for you have allowed many attributes to sleep within your being, powers and gifts that your Creator deposited in you. You are asleep to your spirit and your conscience, and it is in precisely those spiritual attributes that the spiritual greatness of men is founded. You imitate the beings of this world because in it they are born and die. With my word of love, I demonstrate to you the value that your spirit has to me. Nothing exists in material creation that is greater than your spirit. Not the sun with its light, nor the earth with all its marvels, nor is there any other creature greater than the spirit I have given you, for it is a particle of the divine. It is the flame that springs from the divine spirit. After Yah, only the spirits possess spiritual intelligence, conscience, and free will. Above the instincts and inclinations of the flesh, there arises a light that is your spirit, and above that light, a guide, a book, and a judge, which is the conscience. Humanity in its materialism asks me, can it be true that the kingdom of the spirit exists? And I answer, O non-believers, you are the Thomases of the third era. To feel pity, compassion, tenderness, kindness, and nobility are not attributes of the material, nor are the graces and gifts that you carry hidden within you. All those sentiments that you bear engraved in your hearts and minds, all those powers, are from the spirit, and you must not deny it. The flesh is a limited instrument, but the spirit is not. It is great because it is an atom of Elohim. Seek the mansion of the spirit in the depths of your being, and the great wisdom in the greatness of love. Truly, I tell you that from the first days of humanity, man has had the intuition that within he bore a spiritual being, a being which, through invisible, manifested itself in the various works of his life. From time to time, your Elohim has revealed the existence of the spirit, its existence, and its arcane, For even though you bear it within you, the veil that the material wraps you in is so dense that you cannot come to see that which is most noble and pure in your being. Many of the truths that men have dared deny. Nonetheless, belief in the existence of a spirit has not been one of the most fought against, for man has felt and has come to understand that to deny the spirit is like denying your very self. Human matter, when it has degenerated because of its passions, its vices, and its materialism, becomes a chain, a blindfold of darkness, a prison, and an obstacle to the development of the spirit. In spite of this, you have never lacked an interior ray of light to help you in your moments of testing. Truly, I tell you, the purest and most elevated expression of the spirit is the conscience, the divine interior light that makes it the first, the greatest, and the most noble of all the creatures that surround it. To all the people I say, the highest and most beautiful title that man possesses is that of child of Elohim, though it is necessary that it be merited. That is the purpose of the law and the teachings, to inspire you in the learning of my truth, so that you may be worthy children of the divine Father, who is the sum of perfection. You know that you were created in my image and likeness, and when you say it, you think of your human form. I say to you that your likeness to Elohim is not physical, but spiritual. In order to liken yourself to me, you must perfect yourself by practicing deeds of virtue. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am justice and goodness, all of which proceeds from divine love. Do you now understand how you should be in order to be in my image and likeness? In you there is a reflection of the divine. In truth, you bear me. The intelligence, the will, the powers, senses, and virtues you possess speak of an essence superior to that to which you belong, and are a living testament of the Father from whom you sprang. At times, the image of me that you carry within, you manage to stain and profane with disobedience and sin. In that you are not like me, for it is not enough to have a human body and a spirit to be the image of the Creator. Your true resemblance to me is in your light and your love for all your fellow men. I made you in my form and image, and if I am the Trinity in one, then in you too exists the Trinity. The material body represents the creation in its formation and perfect harmony. Your incarnated spirit is an image of the divine word that has made man to trace a path of love for men in the world, and your conscience is a radiant spark of the divine light of the Holy Spirit. What merit would your spirit achieve acting in a material body without free will and sensuous tendencies? The struggle of the spirit with its material body is one of power against power. In that crucible, the spirit must test its superiority and its elevation. That is the trial where the spirit has often succumbed momentarily to the temptations of the flesh. The power exerted over the spirit is so strong that it seems that a supernatural and evil power was dragging it toward the abyss, causing it to be lost in its passions. How great is the responsibility of the spirit before Elohim? The flesh is not bound by this responsibility. Notice how, once dead, the flesh will forever rest on earth. When will you achieve enough merits that you will make your spirit worthy of living in dwellings which are more perfect than the one in which you now live? The world offers you crowns that only speak of vanity, of arrogance, of false greatness. To the spirit that knows how to disregard those vanities, another crown is reserved in the hereafter, that of my wisdom. Life should manifest itself first in the spirit, then in the flesh. How many beings have dwelled on earth, but how few of them were spiritually alive and have manifested their spiritual grace to humanity, that divine spark given to man by the Creator. If men can maintain transparency in their consciences, through them they shall be able to contemplate their pasts, their presents, and their futures. The spirit is similar to my arcane, and oh, how much is contained in that. At every step and in every instant, there is something to reveal to you, manifestations at times so profound that they are incomprehensible to you. That spark of light that exists in each human is the tie that unites man to the spiritual. It is that which puts him in contact with the beyond and with his Father. Oh, if only the material form could take in that which your spirit receives through clairvoyance. For the spirit never ceases to see, even when the body, because of its material nature, perceives nothing. When will you know how to interpret your spirit? You who do not love life because you regret it as cruel, as long as you do not recognize the importance of the conscience in men or allow yourself to be guided by it, you will find nothing of real value. It is the conscience which elevates the spirit toward a superior life above the flesh and its passions. Spirituality will enable you to feel the great love of Elohim when you succeed in practicing it. Then you will understand the importance of life. You will contemplate its beauty and will find its wisdom. Then you will surely understand why I have called it life. After knowing and understanding this teaching, who will dare reject it, saying that it is not the truth? When you understand that within your conscience is your true value, you will live in harmony with everything created by your Father. Then the conscience will beautify the poor human life, but first it will be necessary for man to withdraw from all passions which separate him from Elohim in order to follow the path of justice and wisdom. That will be the beginning of the true life for you, this life which today you regard as with indifferent because you do not realize what you are despising nor imagine its perfection. The Temple of YAH in man. The concept that humanity has of me is infantile, because they do not know how to penetrate the revelations that I have ceaselessly given them. For he who knows how to prepare, I am visible and tangible and present everywhere. In contrast, for he who does not possess sensibility because materialism has hardened him, he barely understands that I exist and feels me to be immensely distant and impossible to be felt or seen in any form. It is necessary that man knows that he bears me within himself, that in his spirit and in the light of his conscience, he has the presence of the divine. The pain that weighs down the men of this era is leading them step by step, without realizing to the doors of the inner sanctuary, before which, unable to go forth, they will ask, Elohim, where are you? And from the interior of the temple, the sweet voice of the master will answer, here I am, where I have always dwelled in your conscience. You were born in me. You took both spiritual and material life from the Father, and in a figurative sense, at that moment you were born in me, I was born in you. I am in your conscience. I grow with your evolution, and I manifest myself fully in your works of love, so that you will say, full of pleasure, the Most High is with me. Today, as beginning students, you are not always able to comprehend my teachings. For now, speak to Elohim with your heart and mind, and he will respond to you deep within your being. You will hear his message in your conscience. It will be a clear, wise, and loving voice that you will gradually discover and become accustomed to hearing. I must raise the church of the Holy Spirit in the hearts of my disciples in this third era. There, Elohim the Creator, the strong Elohim, the Elohim made man in the second era, the Elohim of infinite wisdom, will make his dwelling. He lives in you, but if you wish to hear and feel the echo of his word, you must prepare. Who does good feels my presence within them, just does he who is humble and who sees his brother in every one of his fellow men. In your spirit exists the temple of the Holy Spirit. That enclosure is indestructible. There are no strong winds or hurricanes that are capable of destroying it. It is invisible and intangible to the gaze of humans. Its columns are the desire to overcome yourself with goodness. Its dome is the grace that the Father pours out over his children, and its doors, the love of the Divine Mother, for all who knock at my door are touching the heart of the Celestial Mother. Here, disciples, is the truth of the Church of the Holy Spirit, so that you be not of those who become confused by false interpretations. The temples of marble were but a symbol, and of them not one stone will be left upon another. I wish that in your interior altar the flame of faith burn always, and that you understand that with your works you are building the foundations where one day a great sanctuary will stand. I hold all humanity on trial and in preparation within their diverse ideas, for to all I will give a part in the construction of my temple. My peace be with you.